Y'all, I hope you're having a wonderful Sunday afternoon. As always, I like to put a disclaimer on my videos. Let y'all know I'm doing this for fun, entertainment, encouragement, and educational purposes. We all have different love languages, and I believe my love language is food and cooking. When I do that for other individuals, or when they reciprocate and do that for me, it is very thoughtful, it is very kind, it is very nice for them to do that. I come from a background where if you visited another individual's house and they offered you some water to drink, or they offered you some water and some food, that was considered uh, something that was very noble to do. Now, if you visited somebody and they did not offer you any water or tea or juice or something to eat, um, they, uh, they kind of uh, wow, looked at funny because hospitality was something, and it's still something that's very highly appreciated. And I think the time I or somebody else takes to prepare the food and cook the food and bring it to the table and serve it and watch the individuals that you've prepared the meal for, or whatever it is that you've prepared, enjoy it. It is a very um, satisfying and also gratifying experience. And I want to say, I cannot speak on other African cultures, but I want to say, for my, if you do that for an individual, it is considered very thoughtful and very uh, loving and kind thing to do. Now, uh, when you come to the Western world and you realize that you could go visit somebody and they really don't care whether you uh, have ate or not, or whether they offer you anything to eat or not. It's very interesting, and you will find that most Africans that come to the U.S. and visit other individuals and they are not offered anything to drink or eat, usually kind of surprised because that is not the norm back at home. But I'm also sure there are individuals who live in the U.S., especially in the southern part of the United States, who are very hospitable, who are very uh, open and willing to prepare you something to eat. Because I feel like the common courtesy or rule of thumb is, if you are gonna have company, or if you the individual that's hosting whatever event that you're hosting, you need to uh, be willing to prepare something, whether it's a snack, whether it's a meal, whether it's a huge spread. You need to be willing to do that. But not everyone is uh, inclined to do that. But like I was saying, food and the preparation of it and the cooking of it and the serving and sitting down and breaking bread with other individuals is so huge in the African culture. And I'm quite sure American culture too. I've noticed, since I've been here, I've noticed majority of the U.S. holidays uh, revolve around food. I can go down the list from New Year's Eve to Christmas to Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day to Mardi Gras to Easter to President's Day to Labor Day to, MLK Day. I don't could be wrong, but I don't think there's any holiday in the US that does not revolve around some type of food. And I think food is one of those things that unifies individuals from all walks of life, from all races of life, from all different parts of life or the world, and it brings them together. And I think that is one of the most beautiful things about food. And actually, right now, I'm watching a few shows on Netflix that revolve around food. There's Taco Chronicles, and there's the regular barbecue shows, and there's High on the Hog, which I would highly recommend uh, most individuals to watch because the show High on the Hog, High on the Hog, whatever, however you want to call it. My accent sometimes comes out, or majority of times comes out, but it connects the food that most uh, black folk eat in the U.S. to uh, its origins back in Africa. I don't want to go into too much details. And then there's Taco Chronicles, how the taco came from uh, the the Spaniards to the U.S. And then there's Feed Feel, which is also another show that I really really love that focuses on this guy called Phil Rosenthal going to different parts of not just the United States, of the world, exploring different foods. And then you guys remember Ante de Bourdain. I can't remember what the name of the show was. If you guys know what the name of the show was, where he goes around the country experiencing different cultures and different kinds of food. And the most interesting and flavorful food that you're gonna find is the food that's usually made out in the street, like street food. I love street food. I grew up eating street food. You know, s- s- uh, some of the methods that's used to cook it could be questionable to some people who are extremely cautious about how their food is prepared. But that's what I grew up eating. So it don't bother me. And whenever I mentioned to people that I've tried some of the more interesting foods like coon and rabbit or gator or possum. To some people, they look at me like, "Oh, you're weird. You eat," and I'm like, if the person that's preparing the food knows how to do it and do it right, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna indulge in it. Yeah, so I think food is a universal love language. That's one of the reasons why I've fallen in love with food and trying different foods and being open to try different foods because there's also individuals who are very close-minded when it comes to trying different things because they've only known about the food they grew up eating and are unwilling or are scared of trying different foods. Like there's some foods that I've, I've, I've wanted to, always wanted to eat that I haven't tried. Um, so I'm still in the process of exploring and wanting to experience different kinds of food. I'm huge on Yelp, uh, and my I want to expand my palate as much as I can, and um, I'm quite sure in the process of doing that, I will become very knowledgeable about the different foods that different parts and corners of the world enjoy. And it's not just food. There's also drinks. Adult beverages. There's also smoothies. There's also shakes that are also in the category of food. And I just wish more individuals would be willing and open to trying different kinds of foods, um, experiencing different kinds of foods. Like I've uh, like one of the things my wife and I fell in love with was ramen noodles. There's a place in Houston called Genia, which I found through Yelp. We were regulars at Genia. Uh, if you can, if you can withstand the lines, because they usually have long lines, it's usually majority of the time packed. Then you are going to be in for really, really, really good experience. And then there's also some of the other places that we really enjoyed trying in Houston was Genia. There was also Benji's, and there was also the Black Walnut. Um, there's also Weights and Measures. Their pastries are like crazy out of this world. They got see, I love pastries. My wife is more of the spicy, salty kind of stuff. I'm more of the sweet and baked goods. Um, so Weights and Measures in Houston, Texas. Actually, it's in Midtown Houston. Weights and Measures has really good uh, drinks, cappuccinos, coffees, your flat whites, all of that. Pastries like your croissants. They got a really, I think it's an almond croissant. That was used to be my favorite. And then they also have frittatas. You know, some people, it's funny because a few, I want to say last year, I made my wife a frittata. Was it a frittata or? Yeah, it was a frittata because and then see once you start discovering foods and experiencing new foods, you get to discover the different names of some of these food items. Like I didn't know when I came into this country, I didn't know what a frittata is. I did not know what a quiche is. I did not know that there's a difference between pancakes and crepes, which was what my mother used to make when I was coming up because crepes are thinner than pancakes. And my mama is an expert as make. She's an expert at making crepes. She can whip up a whole bunch of crepes. My mama loves cooking. She's always been huge into cooking. Majority of my cooking style comes from my mama, and then anyhow. So so there's Weights and Measures. There's also food experiences from California. You know, there's a place off, I think it's Grand Avenue in downtown Escondido. Grand Avenue is like the main strip. Grand Avenue goes all the way down to, I don't know, 9th Avenue, I think. It's been so while since I was in California, so some of them streets, I don't know. But Grand Avenue is like one of the main streets in downtown Escondido. And there's a restaurant called Delight of France. I don't know if it's still there, but they have like out of this world pastries and baked goods. My favorite one used to be like just a simple cheesecake, and then there's California, there's Texas, and then there's Louisiana. I have not really explored the food scene in Louisiana, but I'm slowly uh, getting my toes wet, if that makes any sense. And I want to explore as many food places in Louisiana as I can because, like I said, I want to expand my palate, and I feel that everyone who's able to should. Um, I usually tell my coworker, I don't mind uh, spending money on good food because I'm not only enjoying the food but also the experience. So food is a universal love language, and I wish more people would explore and learn and familiarize themselves with that food language. Anyhow, I hope you all have a wonderful and blessed Sunday. You can feel free to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everyone that watches my videos, likes my videos, and y'all be safe.